All right, good morning and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. It is 6:36 a.m. here in the Virgin Islands on this Tuesday. What is the date? Tuesday, January 28th. Today, it's a brand new day. We're coming fresh off of the State of the Territory address. That's going to be much of our conversation today. Governor Bryan delivering his seventh State of the Territory address before the legislature and the people of the Virgin Islands. Um, important. The governor highlighting the accomplishments and what lies ahead. We're going to cut it up in clips and we're going to be making it available on AllAhWeTV. So stay tuned to see that and stay. We want to help ourselves and of course you as well to be in tune to know what's going on. Before we start on the Rise Up content, well, within the highlight clips of the governor's State of the Territory address is something important that's happening right here. We've been seeing it in the news. We're going to share this right now. ICE and different government agencies are actively engaged following the president's order and the president's promise in the election. This is a release that came out of the House of Representatives Delegate Congresswoman Plaskett and is giving instructions, know your immigration rights and how to keep you and your loved ones safe. If ICE is at your door, what do you do? List a number of steps. We're going to share this as soon as we finish Rise Up and AllAhWeTV morning show. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to speak to a lawyer, carry your valid immigration documents, report and document raids and arrests. Before you saying anything, talk to a lawyer. Carry a know your rights card and let ICE know if you have children. If ICE is that, and that's it, if ICE stops you in public. And on the other side says, if ICE is at your door, what do you do? Do not open the door for ICE or any police officer without a signed warrant. You do not need to open the door unless an ICE agent can show you a warrant signed by a judge with your specific and correct name and address. If ICE knocks on your door, ask them to slide the search warrant under the door, show it through a window. Make sure the warrant is signed by a judge and has your address on it. If ICE or the police do not have this, then you do not have to open the door. Once you open the door, you lose those certain rights. So, very important chain of events that's happening right here in our territory, not only our territory, but throughout the nation. So we're just urging you to know your rights, exercise your rights. We're seeing clips as this. This is a loop that's playing. That's showing right there off of the Red Hook Ferry Terminal. So it is happening. Unfortunately, none of us, all of us come from someplace. All of us come from someplace. So it's nothing to laugh at. It's nothing to make fun at. None of us could change where we born, and none of us could change ultimately where we're going to die. Okay? But the president is the executive of the state. But as Congresswoman stated and shared in these basic know your rights steps, rules, know your rights. And to everyone out there, please keep safe one way or the other. We all one Caribbean family. We all one human family. So this is something that we hope can, dissolve and move on very fastly. All right, welcome to AllAhWeTV morning show right here on this Tuesday, January 28th. A beautiful day right here in the Virgin Islands. And as stated when we opened the show, last night was the State of the Territory address. Governor Bryan making his seventh annual delivery before the people of the Virgin Islands. So in a optimistic, rather long speech, it highlights a number of accomplishments, a number of goals, and what we as residents, viewers, citizens can look forward to see the administration and our territory moving forward. So what we did, we got some key responses from a number of the senators, 4 to be exact. We're going to show you highlights from the governor's speech throughout the morning, but I think we're going to jump straight right into the senators' responses into the governor State of the Territory address. We're going to share with you updates. We're going to share with you the weather, all that's happening in the Virgin Islands, and this Tuesday, what to look out for. Last week was massive. He had a runway event down at Krong Bay and Remedy Carnival Troupe. Carnival is coming. This weekend, Reichel Center has the session. He have a party session. Jamban, Mike Love, Lioness. What else you have? The Elijah Bratwick Project. And last week we had the DA Carnival Warm Up by Anush 242. That event was also a massive event. A number of things coming out, a number of events and things happening in our community, which we'll be sharing with you. But today, we want to share responses from the legislators and their take on the governor's State of the Territory address. We're starting it off with Senator Alma Francis Heiliger and her finding to the governor's State of the Territory.
Well, this is Senator Alma Francis Heiliger. My response to the State of the Territory address, while I appreciate the governor sharing with us some positives, such as, where our stance is as it relates to tourism, I think if those increased numbers could translate into tourism dollars to assist the people of the territory, I think that would be a positive thing. So that will remain to be seen. But I think his overall message, he had a very large disconnect with the message and sharing some of the necessary solutions. I think it's one thing for the governor to come and say that he's going to fix something, but he didn't share how. For example, he talked a little bit about the sewage running through the streets in the territory, and he spoke about we're going to fix it. But what exactly was the pathway to fix it? Sometimes people just want a little bit of something to hold on to say that, hey, this is the direction we're going to be going in, and that could at least give them something to grab onto while we're going through the process. And I think that's where, in my opinion, he missed the mark in several areas.
What do you see is the next step for the legislature following tonight's State of the Territory address, and what may have been missed, what you as a senator can help bring forward?
Well, he spoke about us giving monies or reappropriating monies to help pay for retro. To be honest with you, I was a little bit offended by that. The legislature of the Virgin Islands on 2 occasions in the budget made sure that retro was set aside to be paid. It was this administration that chose to take the bulk of the money and spend it elsewhere. And for you to come into the legislature and say, hey, you guys want to spend $20 million to build a gym, why don't we take that money and pay retro? What out of the settlement monies, what he is failing to tell the public is a lot of those settlement monies were earmarked specifically for things. So even if the legislature put them into law, they were negotiated that way. We had to spend X amount of dollars for senior citizen facilities. We had to spend X amount of dollars on mental health facilities. We had to spend X amount of dollars on building social activity locations. So it wasn't that we just willy-nilly took the money and just said, let we just spend it. These things were actually negotiated in the settlement that we had to now translate it in law to guarantee that the monies were spent. Now, we did have some funding open up, about $50 million, but we did things like grants so that business owners could get some assistance with some of those fundings, and we did do other things with some of the $50 million. But I really don't think for him to try to come now and say, when he had control of the ARPA funds, and he talked about all the different programs that some of the monies were split up amongst, but as a legislature we took the time out to really go through those settlement dollars for example, the Epstein monies, etc., and we made some very sound decisions, and I think we should stick to them, and not because you fumbled the ball and spent monies that was already allotted for retro, you want to come dump it back on the legislature again.
All right, what can we look forward to seeing from your, what's on your desk, what's in your plans and agenda? Working on 2025?
I will be tackling quite a bit. I plan on tackling the judicial system in regards to seeing how we could try to get some of the processes cleaned up so that more probate and other settlements could happen within our system. I will be continuing to work on the abandoned and derelict properties bill that I started off within the 35th legislature. Hopefully we could get that wrapped up in this term. I have a slew of bills dealing with housing in regards to accessory dwelling units as well as tiny homes, and really trying to resize the footprint of land here in the territory so you could build more with what you do have. So those are some of the things that I want to focus on this particular go around, and hopefully it'll help better the lives of the people of the territory.
All right, that's Senator Alma Francis Heiliger giving her responses to the Governor's State of the Territory address last night, Monday night, as required by the Revised Organic Act, before the people of the Virgin Islands and the legislature. So we still have to come Senator Kurt Vialet's response, Senator Carla Joseph, and freshman Senator Avery Lewis. What we're going to do right now is show you the weather and what is happening today. So information today right now is about 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Clear skies, they're going to be mostly sunny skies, and they're going to be a high 84. And this humid day, we say it's going to peak around 2 p.m. between 12 to 2 at about 83 degrees. We don't see any details of precipitation. So that's a good thing. We have good weather here in the Virgin Islands. And for the taxis, the people on Main Street, what you have today being January 28th, we have 3 ships, 2 being in Haven-site. That's a Norwegian Epic, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And also at Haven-site is going to be the Maraviglia. Also at Haven-site. At Krong Bay today is the Rhapsody of the Seas. The Rhapsody of the Seas gets there 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the Maraviglia, that's going to be there from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tomorrow, of course, is the busy day with 2 ships at Krong Bay, being the Icon of the Seas and the Rotterdam, and 3 ships at Haven-site, which is going to be the Caribbean Princess, the newest Stanton, and the Norwegian Encore. Now, St. Croix, we see that yesterday you had a ship, and today also you have a ship, the Adventure of the Seas. That's 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Frederiksted. So we have a ship today in Frederiksted, and we have 3 ships in St. Thomas, 2 in Haven-site, 1 in Crown Bay. And as we said, it's 76 degrees Fahrenheit. We opened the gates this morning with that publication from Delegate Plaskett, just saying know your rights, what to do if you have ICE at your door. ICE or any government agencies. We're going to repeat that through the morning. This is a release that we saw coming from WAPA, just to let the public know that to ensure reliable and uninterrupted service, active maintenance is essential. So on Sunday, February 2nd, the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority will conduct an island-wide scheduled electrical outage on the island of St. John from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. During this time, WAPA will perform critical testing and maintenance on the submarine cable connecting St. John and St. Thomas. WAPA said that we understand the inconvenience this may cause, but taking these preventative steps now help us avoid larger unplanned outages down the road. Thank you for your understanding as we work to ensure a stronger, more reliable power system for all. All right, so that's on Sunday, St. John, from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. is going to have a scheduled outage, and just prepare yourselves for that. Just letting you know right here, coming up this weekend is going to be UVI's session on the floor. You have the lights performing of the awesome jam band, the Lioness, Mike Love, Elijah Bratwick Project, and this is on January 31st at 7 p.m. at the Elridge Blake Sports and Fitness Center, 7 p.m. It's going to be nice. Limited seating, but they're going to have a dance floor, they're going to have a cash bar, and if you've been Reichel Center for UB40, they had a session on the floor last year, which featured, what's Enoch Band? I forgot the name of it right now, but they're continuing and they're keeping activity because they're working on not revamping, but the Reichel Center for the Arts is under construction. So they're doing these activities as fundraisers and, of course, to keep Reichel Center going so that very soon you're going to see those doors reopen at the Reichel Center for the Arts. They had so many performers down there from Danny McClurkin, Kirk Franklin, SWV, Brandy. The list goes on and on and on. Reichel Center had it, the Marleys, the Whalers. They had everybody down there. Also on Sunday, Miss Naturalista have their post-Christmas giveaways, the 5th annual. This year is hosted by Bake Shark and it's going to simulcast between both islands, St. Thomas and St. Croix. There's a live drawing. There's a lot of giveaways. I think Shah's going to be doing a performance plus hosting a show. So that's at Miss Naturalista. Miss Naturalista is located in St. Thomas in the Yacht Haven Grand, right next to the Windy's entrance by Moles and the Red Hook Family Practice. And in St. Croix, they are located at over there in the western end of the island in front of Jane's Bridal. So I think it's like you go there once you're a shopper, and as you go to the counter, you get a ticket. So it's just a drawing. It's going to be great. A number of things going to be on giveaway, and they're going to be having a whole lot of fun. So you could check that out. So we showed you Senator Alma Francis Heiliger and her response. Now we're going to give you Senator Kurt Viale and his response to the Governor's State of the Territory address. So stay right tuned right now.
Senator Kurt Viale. I listened to the State of the Territory and had a chance to actually read it as the governor was orally presenting the State of the Territory. And there was a lot of information in there, a lot of numbers, a lot of discussion about projects, discussion about education, about the hospital system. But when you read the State of the Territory and you reflect on what is actually taking place on the ground, the reality of the Virgin Islands at this juncture, it just doesn't correlate. And I heard a discussion in reference to the hospitals, and in St. Croix, Wang Louis has just been going through a tremendous amount of issues in reference to long wait time in the emergency room, 13, 14 hours, lack of supplies for doctors and nurses to be able to perform simple procedures, lack of staff, education, that have been also a number of problems. I heard a discussion in reference to Charlotte O'Malley High School, the building there, and also at Arthur Richards. And you gotta excuse me, I'm fighting a cold. I haven't actually seen what is going on at Charlotte O'Malley in terms of the rebuild. And I'm very concerned about Charlotte O'Malley in particular because it's a high school that don't have access to a gym, don't have access to athletic facilities. So I'd like to see that really expedited. There was a lot of discussion about contracts, and there are a number of contracts that are taking place right now at St. Croix, from the bridges to Parley Joseph Stadium to Vincent Mason Pool. But a lot of those contracts have been in place for a number of years. Parley Joseph over 10 years, the transportation building at Public Work for the last 5 years, and we're not seeing completion. So one of the things that we're going to be doing in the legislature is we're going to be calling in property and procurement, and we're going to be having a very candid discussion in reference to the contracts that are being generated by PNP and Department of Justice as to whether or not there are timelines and penalties in there in which contractors have to finish projects. And a good example is the Midland Road Bridge. They dug it up and then the contractor disappeared and have not returned to the site for 3-4 months. The East Airport Road, the same thing. Dug it up and then the contractor disappeared for months. That doesn't happen in any other jurisdiction. So that's one of the areas we're going to focus on, especially with the announcement that we now have access to some $22 billion. We need to be able to spend those monies because we have a new administration in place, a Republican administration, and they're looking at cost-cutting measures. And we want to make sure that the Virgin Islands in no way is going to be included in any of those cuts. We have already heard the president say that I'm going to change the way that FEMA is run. We would rather the state take responsibility. And part of the statement, he said, we'll also like the state to have some teeth in the game, that the states will be able to put up some money. So we have to really make sure that our monies are obligated, that we're going to not lose any of the funds that we presently have, and that we're going to expeditiously spend those monies, because if we're able to do that, we're going to be able to transform the Virgin Islands. Never in our history have we had access to the amount of monies we have now as a result of disasters, as a result of the American Rescue Plan Act, as a result of the CARES Act. So we have to make sure that we expeditiously spend every single penny that has been allocated for the Virgin Islands.
Anything there that you wish would have liked to have been included?
Well, definitely there was a total void in reference to mental health and homelessness. And that population has just been exponentially growing. I know on the island of St. Croix, because I drive there every single day, where you're literally seeing individuals walking in the middle of the street and just really erratic behavior. And it's a young population, and a number of them, I think we should be able to help them, but we must be able to develop a mental health plan. We got to develop a plan for that homeless population. And I didn't hear any discussion about that, but I know that it's a problem that we have and a problem that we need to address.
As you go and you begin work, what's some of your immediate projects that you're going to be working on?
Well, definitely education. I'm going to try to make sure that there is a plan in which summer maintenance will be able to take place as soon as the students leave. I want to address those schools that have had, for the last 2 years, to reduce the schedule or have a shortened bell schedule because of excessive heat. So I'm going to be asking those questions as to how we're going to be able to alleviate that for this upcoming school year. To speak to a number of the capital projects that are supposed to take place, the status of Arthur Richards, the status of Shaltamali High School, going to be addressing the learning loss and the fact that a number of our students are below grade level and some substantially below grade level, as to what plans we have that we're going to be able to utilize during the summer or after school to deal with those issues. So we're going to have a hearing on February 6th, and the agenda will be out very, very shortly. And we are hoping that the Education Committee would be able to assist in the Education Department in being able to complete their job and to motivate them to get the job done in the upcoming months.
All right, that's Senator Kurt Violet. He was the highest vote getter in the St. Croix district, known for his works in the finance department, the education department, former educator himself, and he had given the post responses from his post responses from the governor's state of the territory address. So it was a lengthy address, and in it, the takeaway moments, which should be making headlines today, the governor announced that we're going to have a VI Technical College launching, I think, in about 2025. He indicated progress coming in the cannabis division. We have a cannabis, I can't even call the name, we don't hear about it enough, but a lot of progress is being made there. And for those who have on their record cannabis offenses, he urged you to petition the court so that could be expunged off of your record. So that's an important takeaway. A lot of transformation, evolution happening in the Virgin Islands placement in the cannabis industry. What else? All federal monies, which has been promised, which has been designated for the Virgin Islands, has been obligated. I mean, it's been assigned. It can't get taken away. So that was an important announcement. Another one that's coming, so that's $22.5 billion pledge. And the governor, the biggest headlines probably that everyone is going to take away is there is a lawsuit or action coming with the Department of Justice against VIGL for lack of progress or lack of action with the racetrack on St. Croix. So, the governor can't state everything. A lot of more information is needed. He said there's monies in the government funds. And the government could make its move to build the racetrack. So, the horse racing fans, they're going to be hearing that, and they want to know what progress and when the progress is coming. But he touched on every topic from education, the Virgin Islands Police Department, talked about online ticketing, which is coming. You're going to get your tickets in the mail. And we know now Commissioner Mario Brooks, at the time was Commissioner Designee, he said you can go online to get your traffic reports. No longer you got to come to the police station. So he mentioned that before. The governor talked about that. And a number of things from public works, a lot of projects that's coming on, road construction. So it was a funny thing when he said that when you see the yellow cones and the yellow barricades, that means progress is in sight. The St. Croix bridges are going to be opening, including that East Airport Road. If I heard correctly, before AgFest in St. Croix, that East Airport Bridge should be open. So we're going to give you some clips of the governor's State of the Territory address. as well as we're going to be showing the more responses from Senator Avery Lewis and Senator Carla Joseph. It's 7:01 right here, Tuesday, January 28th, right here on AllAhWeTV.
Is the heartbeat of our democracy, and your engagement speaks to an enduring commitment to shaping the future of these islands. To Senate President Milton E. Potter, congratulations on your peers' vote of confidence to lead this distinguished body. To every member of the 36th legislature, congratulations on earning the trust of the people. The next 2 years will pass swiftly, but they hold the potential for transformative progress if we act boldly and work collaboratively. A noteworthy acknowledgement goes to our first-time elected Democratic senators, Clifford Joseph, Lorenzo Frederick, and Avery Lewis. Your elections reflects the people's trust in your leadership and dedication to public service. May you approach this calling with passion, purpose, and a steadfast commitment to those you serve. I would also like to recognize Senator Novell E. Francis Jr., whose leadership as president of the 35th legislature was a testament to the power of unity and collaboration. Senator Francis, you reminded us that progress comes not from focusing on divisions, but from aligning our efforts toward the common good. Thank you, sir. To this new legislature, I urge you to follow that example. Lead with integrity, collaborate with purpose, and champion the causes that uplift our people. See, leadership is not merely about opposing. It's about delivering results that transform lives. When this body and our administration succeed, the Virgin Islands succeed. And when we fail, our people pay the price. Let us commit tonight to winning for them. I also extend my congratulations to President Trump and the newly elected leaders across our great nation.
All right, that is Senator Albert Bryan. We're giving you clips of his State of the Territory address last night in the Earl B. Otley Chambers. Right there, that was part of the introduction.
Recognize that progress brings its challenges. Our job postings continue to outpace the applicants, highlighting the critical need to align opportunity with workforce and preparation. Workforce development has been and will continue to be one of the administration's core priorities, because we know that empowering Virgin Islanders to build a brighter future starts with education, training, and skill building. In September 2025, we will open the Virgin Islands Technical College, a game changer. This new institution is designed to fill the gap in high-demand fields and address the workforce shortages in construction and project management, and provide residents with access to higher-paying careers. This academy will give our high school students the opportunity to graduate with a 2-year college degree and other certification while they are in high school. At the same time, we remain deeply committed to the University of the Virgin Islands with our free tuition program that has already provided $4.7 million in scholarships to over 2,000 students. This initiative, thanks to this legislature, is now extended to part-time students as well, and is breaking down financial barriers and unlocking opportunities for all. These investments in education.
You get it right there. That's a big announcement. September 2025, we're going to be counting on the clock that we're cutting a ribbon with groundbreaking to a VI Technical College. What kind of careers are going to be in this college? We're going to find out. Where is it going to be located? We're going to find out. Is it a part of the Department of Education? Is it a part of the University of the Virgin Islands? Or is it something totally different? Again, we're going to find out. But it is big news that we have this technical college that's about to roll out, and students, participants are going to leave with a 2-year college degree equivalent. So that's important because not everyone has the patience or they want to go to that normal college. Some people are technical and they excel in the technical field and or vocational industry, and that's where they need to go. They don't need to be bored in a classroom. So that is important news. That's something that we're looking forward to hearing the governor speak more about that. And then continue with reminding everyone that we do have we're one of the few, if only, jurisdiction that is giving free college education to its residents. So if you're watching or know someone that can apply and benefit from free college education, whether full time and now part time, please go ahead and do so because I mean, not much places have it, under the U.S. flag, that is. So that's an important statement right there. So where we at now? We are at, what else did the governor talk about? All federal monies being obligated and over $22.5 billion is guaranteed, has been obligated. So a lot of important things. And last night's State of the Territory, it's a address that brings out the entire community, all the dignitaries, all the commissioners. And it's definitely one that you pay attention to, not only for where the territory is going, but where there's opportunity for yourself. If you're interested in business, maybe a part-time hustle, who knows? When you're hearing what is happening in development from Port Authority, the marine industry, the hotels, talked about the soon to be open Hampton Inn Hotel over there at the Haven site, but also an eco-friendly hotel that's coming at the Botany Bay and the western end of St. Thomas. There was a lot of announcement. We're going to cut it up and we're going to make that State of the Territory address available so you can see in a shorter format. But if you have the time, visit, as you've seen, we're airing the Legit TV version and also Channel 12 carried it live. You go ahead and check it out for yourself and get the information. It's always important to see what is happening in our community because it is our community. We're going to take a commercial break. It is right now 7:08 this January, Tuesday, that is, Tuesday, January 28th, is the Rise Up Morning Show. We're going till about 7:30. The sun is already break. I mean, it's a beautiful glow. At this time, school children probably catching the bus. Some of them from the west are already on the bus. If you're waking up, you got to be there for 8 o'clock. Get yourself together. Just keep the volume on, and we're going to give you some updates of all that's taking place here in our territory and beyond. It's the Rise Up Morning Show here on AllAhWeTV.
Eustace Grant Jr., also known as the Don Yield. I was diagnosed with stage 2 prostate cancer on August 31st, 2017. That moment changed my life.
Well, as you know, in live TV, things happening. Something happening on the computer side. A little boo-boo, computer acting up. But we're here sharing the news of the State of the Territory address. That's the major news that's happening today on the Tuesday, January 28th, right here on AllAhWeTV Rise Up Morning Show. We're going to, throughout the morning, and with what is happening right here in the Virgin Islands and throughout our nation, this was shared by Delegate Plaskett. It's a Know Your Immigration Rights and how to keep you and your loved ones safe. I'm going to share that throughout the morning. As the show finishes, we're going to post it on AllAhWeTV's Facebook page. I'm sure the delegate has it on her social media, her website, and of course, you could speak with an immigration lawyer or people who could give you, who have the knowledge to give you the advice needed. We're seeing videos coming out, some of them heartbreaking. It's just what to do if ICE is at your door and what to do if ICE stops you in public, okay? Again, we urge all residents, all viewers, this ain't a laughing matter. This could happen to anyone. All of us, most everyone here in this territory is a descendant from a Caribbean country, even other places part of the world. You know, none of us are native to any place. So it's some crazy times, and no one have control over where you're born or where you're gonna die. But with all that could be said and done, is right now with what's going on, what you do. And this quick little one page, Know Your Rights, is great information telling you what to do, how to navigate. So we're urging everyone to be careful and just sending love to everyone out there. All right, we're going to take this commercial break now, trying a different computer, and we're going to be coming right back right here on the AllAhWeTV Rise Up Morning Show. All right? We're having, man, these challenges are extended. Let's see what's happening. Okay. So, listen. One thing, don't stop it. Let's do this. We're going to share with you Senator Carla Joseph, her response to the governor's State of the Territory address last night.
I am your servant and Senator Carla Joseph. I'm also the 36th legislature, chairperson of the Committee on Rules and Judiciary. Just a reaction to the governor's 7th State of the Territory address. I really thought he was upbeat. And I think he's optimistic, and he truly wants the best for the Virgin Islands. I really was impressed that all of the federal funds, over $12 billion, have been obligated. That is a huge accomplishment, especially when we know we have multiple projects happening on all 3 islands. That is a huge accomplishment, and I really want to commend Ms. Adrienne Williams-Octolin and her team for doing all of that hard work to obligate that funds. Grant management, federal grant, local grant, as well as endowment management is one of my acumen, and I know how challenging that can be. It's a lot of paperwork, a lot of information you have to submit, so I really applaud that. Also, I applaud this new technical college that the governor said they're looking to implement. I definitely am a member of Committee on Education and Workforce Development, so I know we're going to be drilling down to get some firm time frames when that's going to be implemented. I also really applaud that the governor has taken the bull by the horn and filed a lawsuit against VIGL, who has been dragging their feet. I suspect, and I wanted it to be proven wrong, that they didn't have the funding to actually renovate the racetrack in St. Croix, the Randall Doc James racetrack. So those are some key factors. But I do have, one issue, and I think it begins with the top, and it's very concerning for me, is this issue with public trust. It's good for the governor to say that. His administration, they have a dark cloud about it, but it begins with the person at the top. I recall vividly in the 35th legislature, the governor took the $25 million that the legislature had appropriated for retro, and he arbitrarily went and used it without any consultation from us. So it begins on the top. If you want to turn over a new leaf and say we're going to build trust, we're going to work together and the like, you have to start to not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. That's how it's done. Because once people see that, guess what? They start to trust you. They start to trust us to do business with us, to know that we are persons of our word and we have that level of integrity and transparency. Those are big words, but in order to do it, you have to be intentional and say that you're going to do it no matter what the issues are. So I really am looking forward to working with the governor and with my colleagues as well, and the people of the Virgin Islands, so that we can really implement, because we have a major issue with two factors: implementation as well as enforcement in our government. And so we have to really dig down deep and start to really do that work of enforcement and implementation. So all in all, I'm looking forward to the 36th legislature doing all the oversight so we can get things done on behalf of the people of the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Anything you'd like to see in the speech?
I definitely wanted him to talk more about where we are with the healthcare issues with our Virgin Islanders. Many of our people have to fly off island, and also the collection of outstanding taxes. Yes, we're going towards an electronic online submittal of our tax returns, but where are we with collecting all of the millions of dollars in outstanding property taxes and gross receipt taxes? That is what really fuels our engine here in the Virgin Islands to do the people's work and get things done. We need people to pay their taxes, and we need to be able to collect them.
Anything that your residents can look forward to see coming out of your office as you progress?
Yes, we are scheduled. The Committee on Rules and Judiciary is scheduled to hold its first meeting on February 27th. We have 3 nominations that are being considered. Also, I'm still battling with a housing discrimination bill that I have. I'm planning to send it back down again, and this will be the third AG to review and have a robust discussion on how we can best implement it. Also, I have some legislation surrounding property owners' rights. So those are some of the things I'm looking at moving forward with. And also, like I said, for me, collection and people paying their fair share is a major issue. And so for persons who refuse to pay their taxes or don't go in to even make a payment plan, definitely looking at how we can work with other agencies to assure that they go in and do that.
A question, but it wasn't a question and answer day or night. A question that should have been presented to the senator as she's pushing on the collection of taxes, which is, of course, important for the government to function. What happens when the government owes you taxes? So I owe the government $5. No, I owe the government $10, and the government owes me $5. Why, instead of me paying my $10 and praying that I get back $5, why don't we just subtract and pay the government $5? That's a question, or that should be something that's in consideration, because we do know the government needs revenue. It needs money, and taxes is one of the largest way we generate revenue here in the territory. But what happens when the government owes you? So something interesting there to think about, something to discuss among with your senators, because the senators are everyone in the government, whether it's the governor, commissioners, directors, senators. They ultimately work for us, the people. So don't be shy. Bring forward your ideas, your suggestions, and then gather in a group too. Put together a group of like-minded folks as yourself, because then that group becomes a movement. And they recognize movements and numbers. That's what the senators and the politicians understand. So we're not getting too excited. This is just an idea that I've heard float around among my friends, my colleagues, fellow business owners. Like, I have some taxes I owe the government, but do you know the government owe me for X amount of years? How do we work about that? Anyway, let's run the commercials now. They're set to play. We'll come back where we're really sharing what your rights if I stops you. We're sharing that pamphlet by the Office of the Delegate. We're continuing our clips. We have one more here in the can of the responses from the Governor's State of the Territory address, urging you have, if you skim through it, his speech was about an hour and a half. But you know, the fluff in the beginning, the fluff in the end, bring it to about 2.5 hours. But you can go right to it and you can hear the information for yourself, take notes, and see where opportunities lies for you, your family, your colleagues to capitalize on. More importantly, just to know what has been occurring and what is set to occur here in the Virgin Islands. All right? We're right here, Rise Up Morning Show on AllAhWeTV.
Movement, my boy. Moving my ideas to the board with the fastest fiber. Staying connected on the road with reliable 5G and on the go with nationwide coverage. No matter how I move, Via creates a symphony of connectivity, so I could bring down a cascade of sound. From the VI shores to the global stage, it's one VI to the wall with DJ Avalanche and Via.
The first step in securing your business or home is erecting a fence so the non-invited can keep out and the invited can be guided in. Now, a solid, beautiful exterior structure not only enhances the appearance, but also increases the value of your home or commercial property. Meet Bender and Associates. They are the experts in aluminum and stainless steel, including their manufacture and repair. Their work include gates, automatic and manual, stairs, security bars, wheelchair ramps. Hey, once you dream it and it involves steel, aluminum, or any metal structure, Bender and Associates can build or repair it. And for those who love the metals with beautiful designs, Bender and Associates can do that also. Time to get started by calling 340-244-0861. Oh yes, Bender and Associates service the entire Virgin Islands. Bender and Associates, unifying your property while securing your peace of mind.
Man them, let's redefine getting ready. Today ain't just about stepping out, we stepping up. Starting with the essentials, the Levi Fisher bundle isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling good. You're hydrating and grooming that bed perfectly. Next, let's not forget the skin. With Naked Luxury's Fairline Men, we taking premium care that leaves your skin irresistible. Why? Because self-care ain't just a luxury, it's a necessity. So before you head out, remember looking good is more than just clothes. It's about bringing out your natural charm. You think your woman and want to see you rough all the time? Don't forget, look good all the time. Take care of yourself.
All right, and Miss Naturalista invites you to... They have their post-Christmas giveaway this Sunday, February 2nd. That's going to be hosted by our very own international, I can call him international because soca artist extraordinaire. You can call him Daddy Shah, you can call him Big Shah. You know what I mean? Shah, the artist. He's going to be at Miss Naturalista hosting the big time giveaway. That's February 2nd, 4 p.m. You can visit Miss Naturalista on Facebook to find out more information or go into the stores on Santa Cruz. They're located in front of James Bridal and in St. Thomas, right next door to the Red Hook family practice in the Yacht Haven Grand. I think you're going to have Shah, you're going to have MC Bogle, you're going to have music, giveaways, a lot of vibes. Tune in live to see if your number gets picked. So how you get a number? You got to go into the store. Go into the store from now until, go to the Facebook page. You'll find out more information. Go in, get your raffle ticket, and you could win all kind of prizes from the store. I mean, some totaling hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So that's a real good thing happening over there at Miss Naturalista. All right, so listen, man. It is 7:24 right here on the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Tuesday, January 28th. On the cruise ship side, what we have 3 ships on St. Thomas, 1 ship on St. Croix. St. Croix, you got the Adventure of the Seas. That's from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Down there in Frederickstead. And in St. Thomas, you got 2 ships at Havenside, 1 at Crown Bay. Crown Bay is the Rhapsody of the Seas, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Havenside dock is the Norwegian Epic from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And you got the Merragviglia. I gotta really look up that name. Every week we say it and I say it wrong. That's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, St. Thomas has 5 ships, 3 at Havenside, 2 at Crown Bay. Thursday, 1 ship, and Friday, 2 ships. All right? Okay. We still have the clip from Avery Lewis, which is going to be played right now. That's probably going to take us out this morning here on the Rise Up Morning Show. His responses to the Governor's State of the Territory address, reminding St. John just to prepare. Most of you will be sleeping, so you wouldn't feel a pinch though. But from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m., WAPA was going to have a scheduled island-wide power outage on St. John. They got to do some critical testing and maintenance on the submarine cable connecting St. Thomas and St. John. So that's on Sunday. Now, any other outage that happened is a pop-up. But we got to give WAPA credit because there was an outage last week, some through the weekend, but they're not as long as how they used to be. And maybe that's the effect of the new generators coming online. Who knows? But we got to big up the team at WAPA, keeping the lights on and keeping us here moving. What else is popping? More to come, but just reminding everyone this: know your rights. If ICE knocks at your door, know your immigration rights up to keep you and your loved ones safe as this show ends. We're going to share this on our Facebook page. It comes from our Congresswoman Stacey E. Plaskett. It says what to do if ICE stops you in public and what to do if ICE is at your door. What do you do? All right, and everyone be safe out there. Listen, so as we begin to slowly descend into our 7:30 and our out of here, listen, last night was the Governor's State of the Territory address, one of the major announcements that we have. Everything involving the government was outlined there, from police, hospitals, the accomplishments, the opportunities that lies ahead, and then the areas that are still touchy that they are working on. We had responses this morning from Senator Alma Francis Heiliger, Senator Avery Lewis, Senator Carla Joseph, and Senator Kurt Vialet. We're going to post those responses to our Facebook too, so you can go back and review them. We're going to bounce. We may be back tomorrow, but definitely on Thursday. You know, the countdown as we end January, February is AgFest in Santa Cruz. So you definitely want to make sure you secure your space, your travel accommodation. If you're coming from Tartola, St. John, St. Thomas, so check that out. St. Croix, we want to be in your area, so you just got to welcome us with open arms. I live in both, so I'm going home. All right, so until next time, here is Senator Avery Lewis, his post-response, which is a good response, of the governor's delivery last night before the legislature, him and his colleagues. It's food for thought. The most important thing is, what was your thoughts? What did you think about the governor's address? How can you capitalize on the opportunities that he has indicated that is for the Virgin Islands? Ultimately, that's what it's all about. We're not watching others become successful. We want to be in that pool of success as well. But it takes us seizing the moment, seizing opportunities, and taking the necessary steps. So you have a beautiful day. Good morning from AllAhWeTV and the Rise Up Morning Show. Here's Avery Lewis and his responses from last night's State of the Territory address. Goodbye.
Avery Lewis, Secretary of the 36th Legislature. Tonight we heard a speech by Governor Albert Bryan Jr. As he delivered his 7th State of the Territory to the people of the Virgin Islands and to this body, this 36th body in the legislature. The governor, had a long speech. And if I had to talk about the speech, I would say that the governor had a lot of optimism in his speech, and I think he tried to have a balance in his speech to compare it, optimism, which actually showing the woes, and try to relay them to the everyday stuff that affecting us here in the Virgin Islands. He talked about WAPA and how, the improvements WAPA is making in the infrastructure and the grid. He talked about some other projects coming online to make the place a renewable place and, improving the grid, our infrastructure and our grid infrastructure as well here in the Virgin Islands. He talked about a lot of projects coming online. He talked about 10 new school projects coming online by the end of 2025. He talked about $22 billion, and all of it being federal monies, all of it being obligated thanks to these monies we inherited through the last 2 hurricanes and to rebuild our infrastructure to come back more resilient. One of the things the governor talked, he talked about a lot of ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings, and we like to see ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings, but one of the things we need to do is get more timelines. and start holding people feet to the fire. Get more timelines. When is it going to start? What stages we are in? How is the money obligated? And start holding people accountable. And as a legislator, I plan to, utilize my rights as to bring in the different agencies and people into the committees of jurisdictions and inquire and ask the pertinent questions. And not only that, but let's see how we as legislators could work along with the people, with the agencies and so forth, to put legislations in place that secure our people, and also to try to remove impediments to to make things a little easier for the process to begin and complete. That's what we need around here in this place, to see more completion. I really thought that he was going to expound more on mental illness, but I know he couldn't include everything in the speech. So therefore, we'll have to work closely with Department of Health and our federal partners and our Human Services department. We talked about besides capital improvements, the governor talked about our hospitals, the conditions of our hospital, and he understands the woes. And he understands that we're going to have to start making some tough, unpopular decisions on how we're going to collect this uncompensated care. We also talked about waste management, which is very horrendous. As a former administrator, I caught, a lot of blame and so forth for this aging infrastructure, and I'm glad to hear that we have secured funding. And we're going to continue working with our lobbyists and our delegate to Congress and all our federal partners to make sure that we secure funding in this territory. We have to pay close attention to what's going on the mainland, because we have a new president, and we also heard him talk about revamping FEMA and restructuring it, and how money is being spent with FEMA and how FEMA does business. You want the states to also have more teeth in the game. We just have to monitor this. Some other things are going on, some tariffs. So we have to see what decisions is being made up there that's going to impact us here. One of the things we have to be mindful of, a lot of the people we rely on with the skill sets here in this community. Recently, we have seen ICE out there making some roundups and things, and that's bringing some challenges here to the territory. One of the things I was glad that the governor stressed on, and one of the things as during campaign I talked about, was inflation. Inflation is real. Rent, gas, groceries, everything is up, and we have to start working with our partners like DLC, bring them in to see how we could help and things we could do to ease people, ease the pockets, ease the livelihoods of our residents and visitors alike too. It was very optimistic and prosperous how we talked about the tourism. I think we're heading on the right track there. We talked about WAPA, we kind of heading on the right track there. Pretty soon, maybe days have gone with no more outages. Keep our fingers crossed, and let's see how we could continue to work. And when we talk about WAPA, we always talk about the energy side, but there's a water side to it. So we need to, replace those lines, those aging infrastructure and so forth, and rebuild and come back hard again.
Anything that you have on your desk as you begin your term that you're going to be working on, that the residents of yours can look forward to see you working on?
Well, there's a lot of things we're working on as a provost, but I really can't talk about it right now, because as a legislator, when you talk about your ideas and so forth, they escape. But I'll say this here, inflation is one of the biggest things on my desk, and seeing how we could work. I vowed when I was running, to try to address the mental illness issues here in the Virgin Islands, and one of our most vulnerable populations, our seniors, to see how we could address and make life easier for them. I was glad to hear the governor brought a idea of how we could try to start to pay down on this long overdue awaited retro payments and our other issues. But I think we have to look closely at the books. Soon you're going to be hearing from the majority of this body. We're going to be ramping up, sending out an agenda and start calling in agencies to the committees of jurisdiction and see how we could work along with them. The only way we could move forward this island and propel them forward, we have to work together collaboratively, respectfully too, as well.
Anything that you didn't really have that much in favor of in the speech?
Well, it was a lot to digest tonight. Favor of, didn't like in favor of, I think things could have been expounded on more, but it was just a speech. We'd have still been inside there tonight. But the one thing I really was glad to hear him talked about is not standing for corruption in this administration. Not only this administration, in this country. He reflected on, when one is affected, all is impacted. So that's one thing I was glad to hear about. But again, as I go to my office tomorrow, we sit down with the team and we dissect and analyze the speech, we know where our work has begun. Our work needs to be done.